Hey there YouTube, it's January 1st, 2009 and this is Scudder Bear here with some tips for you on how to save money in the economic crisis and coming economic collapse. In this video I'm going to talk about yard sales, auctions, and estate sales. Over the weekend, some friends and I went to Florence, Alabama to do a little shopping. Now, I live in the country, and it isn't very often that we get to go to the big city, which is what we call when we go somewhere like Florence or Memphis. And we decided to take a trip up there just to do a little shopping and looking around and going out to eat. And what amazed me and floored me was the price of items in the stores. It's gone crazy. And now that may be partly because I don't shop at big stores very often, but I think that the big part of it is that inflation is just rising and prices are going up and it's getting insane. I also did notice that this was right after Christmas we went, and I noticed that there were not a lot of people shopping in the stores, but amazingly there were a lot of people at restaurants, which was kind of weird. But anyway, today I want to talk to you about just a few things, and these are ways for you to save money. And these days, unless it's just staple items, I very rarely ever pay retail price for anything. Part of that is because I guess I've just learned to be very frugal, and living on a very limited income, you have to be. But I will very, very rarely ever pay full retail price for anything that I buy. One of the things that I like to utilize is yard sales, and there are some people who are just die-hard yard sale fans, and some people hate to go to them. But you really can find some amazing bargains at yard sales, and that's where I do a lot of shopping. That's actually where I get a lot of items to resell through my eBay store. So don't discount going to yard sales. One thing you need to do is, it's always, for like in an area where I live, we only have a newspaper that comes out once a week, so I always check the newspaper. I get one Wednesday night, and typically here we have yard sales Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. In bigger areas where you guys have papers every day, you probably will tend to find most yard sales on the weekends, but I know some people have them weekly. I always get the newspaper, and I always check the yard sales to see what's going on and what people are selling. One of the things that I also do, and some of you guys may not know this, is that I know a lot of times in the bigger cities where you may not know the area good enough, and you see a lot of yard sales, but you think, I don't know how to get to them, I don't know where they're located. You can go to MapQuest.com. That's MapQuest.com, and you can put in someone's address and put in your address, and it will give you driving directions on how to get there. So check out some yard sales, because you really can save a lot of money. It's great, especially for people who have kids and they're trying to buy kids clothes and things like that. I found a lot of tools, garden tools and workshop tools at yard sales. You have to learn how to deal with people at yard sales, and there sometimes is some haggling involved. Most of the time I don't normally haggle, because I myself hold yard sales every year, and I hate it when someone haggles with me. So most of the time, if I go to a yard sale, unless the price I think is too high for a yard sale item, I won't haggle. But you know, people that have yard sales know that that's just part of the deal, and don't be afraid to do so. If you feel like there's an item that you want, but you're not willing to pay their price, but you will offer them a lower price, go ahead and offer it to them, because all they can say is no. Another source for finding great items is going to live auctions. A lot of cities have live auctions, and most of the time they have them one night or 2 nights a week. And I go to auctions all the time. I go here lately we haven't been going quite as much because it's been so cold, but in the spring and summer there are times when I can go to auctions up to 5 nights a week. There is a website called auctionzip.com, and I'll put a link over there in the description box for you for that. And at the top of that web page, when you go to that web page, they have a search box, and you can put in your zip code, and it will do a search for you for all the auction houses that are listed with auctionzip.com. And a lot of them across the country, and also in Canada as well, have started listing with AuctionZip. And it will give you listings of auctions in your area, and usually those will have the dates and times and locations, and a lot of them will do previews of what they're selling that week. I have found that auctions have been probably one of the greatest sources for me to find items, because a lot of the times you can get them really, really cheap. And there are some tips and tricks that I had to learn about going to auctions, and I might do a video maybe about that. We'll see, a little more in depth. But when you go to an auction, just you need to get a buyer's number and get registered at most auction houses, and then just kind of watch and see what people are doing and how people are bidding. And it's a great place. Tools, a lot of used items, things if you're into like collectibles and things like that. You can find a lot of stuff at the auctions, and 99% of the time you're going to pay less than retail. There are auction houses that there are a lot of wholesalers that come in and sell, and I particularly don't like wholesale because I don't like to resell wholesale. But for like finding tools and food, it's a good source to stock up on stuff, because you can get a lot of items really, really cheap in some cases. So just check out some local auctions. Plus, it's just a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of people that way. One other option that you might want to look into is estate sales. That kind of goes, it's kind of an in-between between auctions and yard sales. Some of the estate sales that you'll find will be set up as a yard sale type sale. Some of them will be set up at auctions. And normally with an estate sale, that's where a person has passed away most of the time, and the family is selling off their items out of their homes. And I have found a lot of really great stuff by going to estate sales. You can usually find those through your local paper. You can do some searches online to find some information about estate sales. You can also check AuctionZip, because a lot of people do post their estate sales on AuctionZip. So those are just some tips for you guys to help save you some money in this day and time. You really need to try to be saving as much money as you can, and if you have items that you need to buy, or if you're looking for just items to stock up on or things around the house, check the estate sales, check the yard sales, check the auctions, because those are going to be places where you're really going to be able to save some money. And you'll find a lot of stuff that you won't find in retail stores these days. So check out the link that I'll put up. If you guys have any questions, then let me know and I'll try to answer them. And I hope this has helped somebody. You guys take care. Bye-bye.